Amphibians are small vertebrates that need water or a moist environment to survive, and all over the world there are 800 different species that belong to the amphibian class. These include animals like frogs, toads, salamanders, and newts. Among these amphibians is the tree frog, and the most interesting of these tree frogs is the red-eyed tree frog, which is known especially for its large red eyes. But the red eyes aren't the only interesting feature of these frogs. There's a lot more to know, and today we'll tell you 10 interesting facts about them. But before we start, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. They're nocturnal. The one animal that is most commonly known to be nocturnal are owls, but they aren't the only ones. Just like them, these red-eyed fellows also sleep during the day hidden among leaves. However, they come out at night. That's mostly because during the nighttime, there are fewer predators around that can hunt these frogs, and at the same time, it's the best time for them to go out and find plenty of insects to eat. They grow up slowly. It's a common fact that many of the frog species grow up quick and end up living short lives, but that's not the case for these red-eyed fellows. In fact, they take much longer to grow up, and at 2 years old they are fully mature. On average, they live about 5 years in the wild, but in captivity they can last even longer considering they don't have many natural predators waiting to attack them. Their eggs hatch fast. Like I mentioned, the average time for these frogs to grow up is 2 years, but on the other hand, their eggs take very little time to hatch. Usually the tadpoles emerge after only 4 to 5 days, and sometimes it takes even less time. They lay their eggs on the underside of leaves, and the eggs hover over pools of water. Even though the frogs themselves might not be too tasty, their eggs are considered very delicious treats for the predators. And that's the reason they hatch so early, to prevent being eaten and increasing their chances of survival. The tadpoles force themselves to hatch early, even if they aren't fully developed yet. They use the element of surprise. These red-eyed frogs can camouflage in the wild to some extent, but their giant red eyes and their blue and yellow sides always make them stand out. But they end up using these bright features to their advantage when they're threatened by a predator. They use their bright, stunning colors to confuse and misdirect their predators. However, some scientists think it's the opposite because they use their bright colors to avoid predators and abruptly camouflage with their surroundings. Either way, all scientists believe that red-eyed frogs are great at using the element of surprise to avoid attackers and attack themselves. They're excellent climbers. Just like all other tree frogs, these red-eyed frogs are also amazing at climbing. They can easily scale trees and cling to leaves using their toes that are like suction pads. How do they do that, you might ask? Well, their feet actually produce a wet mucus that gives them the ability to easily cling to pretty much any surface. They are not the best source of nutrition. Frogs usually do get attacked. They do have predators waiting to eat them, but that's not the case for the red-eyed tree frogs. Even for us humans, we can eat frogs, but these frogs aren't the best option. There are 2 reasons for that. One is simply because they don't really taste good. And the second and more important reason is that they have toxins in their skins, which can potentially make you sick or even kill you. They've been around for millions of years. Frogs first appeared on the Earth about 100 million years ago. However, many of their species have gone extinct or have evolved into different animals since then. But unlike them, the red-eyed tree frogs have been relatively unchanged for more than 10 million years, according to records found from fossils. The males mark their territory in a strange way. Male red-eyed tree frogs can be pretty territorial. They don't go ahead and attract a mate. First, they find a suitable spot for raising their young, and then they call the females. But to do that, they have to defend their spot from other males, and they use a pretty strange signal to do that. When male red-eyed tree frogs find their spot, they begin to shake and create vibrations that travel up to 2 meters away. That gives other nearby males the sign they should look for their spot somewhere else. They're the fastest eaters of the frog world. For pretty much every animal, the eyes serve one purpose, seeing, but that's not the case for the red eyes of these frogs. In fact, when they catch an insect, they blink their big red eyes to help them swallow the catch faster. This means they can quickly move on from one insect to the next. They're one of the very few amphibians that aren't endangered. Red-eyed tree frogs aren't exactly considered endangered or even threatened by the IUCN, but they're one of the lucky ones right now. Around 33% of amphibians are considered endangered and 43% are seeing a decline in numbers. That's because of climate change and loss of habitat, but for now, the red-eyed tree frogs are safe and sound. And with that, we come to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, press the bell icon so you never miss out on future uploads, and I'll see you all next time. Till then, peace out and have a great day.